Well, it's Wednesday night. You know what that means. Another episode of Faith and Duce. I am your host with the most. And tonight I might not speak as much, but I am Ryan Schroep. And I am joined as always by Big Money Kev Duce and the traveling wizard, Matt McCumber. What's happening?
Hey, y'all.
Rough one for the Duce last week, 1-5. It was the week to fade me. I should have taken the under on Oklahoma and Auburn. Michigan was too much for the Huskers. Illinois, obviously, on the wrong side. It was a rough week. I did get Miami right, and I did get Miami right on, bump it up a couple points if you want. I actually did that and hit. It wasn't looking good there when it was 13-7 late, but take the wins when you get them. Matt, how was your week last week?
Yeah, I overall went 4-2, hit my lock. I took the Terrapins for my lock at Wisconsin, and I didn't need any points. They won by 17.
No, you did not.
So I covered that by 27. That felt great. And missed on OU by the hook and missed on our Illini, obviously. But 4-2, I'll take it. I'm creeping back up. I'm almost to 500. I'm 3-1 on my locks.
And all I can say is Cal laid and bagel at San Diego State. So, my lock was not very appropriate. I'm 2-2 now on my locks. I got lucky on my second win, and it's been all downhill after the backdoor overtime cover.
I saw it on Saturday when I was looking at it. Western Michigan was getting 13.5 against Toledo.
They beat Toledo.
Yeah, they were getting 13.5 at home. I jumped all over that, and they were outright win. So,
hey, you know what? Even though for Illini fans, and we'll get to it at the end, but that is some solace to say Western Michigan's really not that bad.
No.
North Texas beat Washington State worse than Washington beat them. So,
Yeah.
So that maybe that's kind of odd how things work out, but So we're gonna start here with TCU and Arizona, and it looks like TCU is a 2.5-point favorite.
Arizona State's 2.5-point favorite.
Arizona State's a 2. Okay, so ASU 2.5-point favorite here, and this is it's a good first game to start with because TCU, undefeated, just got done beating up on SMU, who looks completely different than they did last year because they're not winning those. They're not winning some of the close games, and even though this one was close for a while last week, SMU and TCU, but TCU is really kind of showing the offensive skill set that we thought Sonny Dykes' team would have had last year, and then ASU obviously after a loss to a very good Mississippi State team, which is surprising. Arizona State lost on the road. Sorry, Kev, you want to you can lift your camera up just a little bit more. I don't want to get that line too much. No, other way. Sorry, there we go. I can try to adjust. But anyway, so we'll start with you, Matt, here. 2.5, for the home team, Arizona State. Again, this is a high-powered offense from TCU. We'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm looking at my current hometown team, the TCU Horned Frogs, and they've really looked the part so far. Absolutely. They've been great. They have one of the most dynamic offenses in all college football. Hoover, their quarterback, he leads the NCAA in passing yards. He's got 1,000 already in 3 games. And he leads the NCAA in 11 TD passes. Their wide receiver, Eric McAllister, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week last week, and Walter Camp National Offensive Player of the Week. He went for 8 catches, 254 yards, and 3 TDs, and had 1 called back. So, he could have been buttoned up right next to 300 yards and 4 TDs last week versus SMU. Here's the thing with Arizona State. They're 63rd in pass defense, and they run the ball about 64% of the time. Now, on the other hand, TCU's defense hasn't been great against the pass either. But with Arizona State, Dillingham running the ball so much, is he going to try to exploit that? Do they have the talent to throw. I think Levitt's been good, Sam Levitt, but he's just been good. That's all I'll say. I think he's got 6 TDs and 3 interceptions. He's done what they needed him to do, but nothing outstanding. So I'm going to take the dog here in TCU Horned Frogs plus 2.5. I like their offense better, and I don't think Arizona State will have the guys in the secondary to stop them. So I'm going to take the scoring over Arizona State's D and give me the Horned Frogs plus 2.5.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Matt said, except I'm going the other way. And here's the reason why. It's now granted, it's not an underdog in prime time, but it's under a field goal. It's on a Friday night. Anybody who's ever been to Tempe, Arizona knows that place gets loud and vibrant. I feel like they bring enough of a crowd, and crowds seem to impact defenses more, in my opinion, right? It's your offenses aren't more efficient. Your offense isn't more efficient because there's a loud crowd. It's your defense. And I think that's what Arizona State's going to need to kind of force TCU into some tough things. I don't know that TCU's seen a defense as good as Arizona State yet. I mean, Abilene Christian, North Carolina sucks, and SMU's been really shaky this year, coming off a playoff appearance. I'm not really buying them right now. I think the Sun Devils win this by a field goal or more. So give me the Sun Devils minus 2.5.
And you're damn right, Jason. I was on a USC pod tonight talking Illini USC, and I'll delve more into that later in the show. But yeah, so the next game here on the docket, we're going to go down. We'll do LSU at Ole Miss. This is a fun one. It's a fun one because looks like I called LSU fraudulent on the show before. And I'm going to be honest, Ole Miss has looked really, really damn good. And this number is one of the, to me, one of the WTF lines, Kev. That's just what it looks like to me. 1.5 at home. We're going to let you start, Kev. You tell me why I think why I'm wrong about that. So LSU at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Listen, LSU's front four is really dynamic, and they really get after the passer. The most points they've given up all season in a single game is 10. Now, granted, Ole Miss can score, and LSU struggles to move the ball against anybody. So I'm going to go a little bit different here. I lean LSU on the number here, but 55.5 seems absurd to me. So I'm going to take the under 55.5. LSU's defense is not going to give up anywhere close to 28 points. I don't know if LSU can score anywhere close to 28 points. They have not done that. I mean, I think the highest point total against a Power 4 team this year is 20. They scored 20 against Florida, 17 against Clemson.
They scored, 31 against La Tech?
23 against La Tech. Like, I just don't think – now, it's just a safer play in my opinion. I'm going to take the under 55.5 in this game, and I really like it.
Yeah, I like that too. I think defense wins out in this game, but it's funny. I still have it under that number, but I'm taking the Ole Miss Rebs, and I got them winning 28-23 as a prediction here. I don't know. I think last year was 29-26 in OT in Death Valley. Took everything LSU had to pull that game out. Actually had to come back
to force it to overtime.
Exactly. A miracle to force overtime. I think Ole Miss is going to be ready for them. They're at home. I know this is not under the lights. It's a 2:30 kick.
Oh, I bet they wish it was in Oxford.
Say again?
I bet they wish it was in Oxford. I bet
absolutely.
They wish it was at night.
Yeah. If it was at night, I think this number would be maybe -3. I don't. Chambliss is just got announced today as a starting quarterback. He's more of the dual threat, and he's looked really good the last 2 games. I like that they're going to stick with him versus Simmons, who I think he got injured first game of the year, and they kind of went back and forth for a little bit. I think he's still trying to get back from his injury. But Ole Miss, 122nd in run defense, which concerns me a little bit. But LSU at the same time hasn't been able to run the ball very well all season, anyways. They've been very inconsistent. They haven't really had a great ground attack at all, and they haven't really seen a passing attack to Ole Miss's ability. They played Florida, and we all know with Lagway, and they played Clemson with Clemson, and he's just been erratic and so. And they're sitting at what, 1-3. So their secondary is gonna get tested here, and I'm gonna take the home team. The line opened Ole Miss +1.5, got all the way up to -2.5 Ole Miss. So 4 points there, back down to 1.5. So that tells me the Sharps are jumping on the Rebs. So I'm going to take the Rebs at home -1.5.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it a lot. So Matt, we started with Matt, right? Kev went and Matt. So Kev, it's you then. Yeah.
It's Matt.
Okay.
Matt finished, so he's up.
Okay. I thought that was only the second game. All right. I was like, wait a second. What are we doing here? All right. I already have the next game loaded up, so then we'll start with we're gonna go with Alabama at Georgia, 3.5. So let's get this put up here. 3.5 points. Does this feel like one of those, overtime slobber knocker, low scoring games that Georgia always seems to be in these SEC matchups?
It does to me. I think this is going to be a very tight game. And for that reason, with this hook here at 3.5, I'm taking Bama. They've already got one loss. They know they can't suffer. Kind of my thinking last week with Michigan at Nebraska. They know they can't afford another loss, especially first game of the SEC play here. And, they're coming off a bye week. They're rested. They'll be ready. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. You're finally starting to see Kalen DeBoer's team pick it up offensively to where it's not to the level he was at Washington, obviously, with Penix. But they're starting to gain a little confidence versus Wisconsin, the last game they played. I think they won that 38-14. Couple things. Georgia, 1-6, last 7 against the spread. 1-4 against Bama against the spread, last 5. They are 0-8 against the spread last 8 September games. And they're 0-5 against the spread their last 5 home games. I'm going to play the trend here. I'm playing is Georgia's coming off a bye week as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So both bye weeks. Okay, I get it. But last one, they're 1-9 straight up last 10 versus Bama, which is kind of hard to believe with how good they've been. So Bama's kind of had their number. I know it's different coaching, different personnel, all that stuff. But I'm going to come up which secondary gives up the biggest plays. It could go either way, but I'm taking Bama +3.5 at Georgia.
Not so fast, my friend. It's funny, Matt. Right, you got all the trends, all the numbers, all the things there. How many times has Georgia been favored at home in September by 3.5 points in the last 3 years? Right? No, those numbers have been 17.5, 21.5. It's 3.5 here. It's at night. I got the more experienced quarterback. TJ Simpson's the number 1 rated quarterback in the country right now for Alabama. He's playing really well, but I got the more experienced quarterback in Georgia. I got what I think is the better coach. I think I get the better defense here as well. I'm going to take the Dogs. Home game at night, revenge factor after last year's crazy game, which Alabama got up 30-0. Then Georgia took the lead, and then Alabama ended up coming back and winning. It was absolutely nuts. I agree with our friend SDR here that Kirby Smart's had this game circled. They're both coming off a bye week, so look for some low first half scores. I think bye weeks favor defenses. Allows coaches to be a little bit more prepared for what offenses are going to do. There's only so much that the offensive coordinators can dip into their bag, as folks like to say. Defenses can be more prepared here. I think Georgia wins this game by around 6 to 7 points. So give me the dogs here. I think that the number's too low. I think I have the more talented team all the way around. I'm really not buying what Kellen DeBoer is doing right now at Alabama necessarily. I think we look back and he hammered Wisconsin. Well, that's a bad Wisconsin team that just got their ass kicked at home by Maryland. So like that game wasn't close. So yeah, Georgia's. I don't know how good Florida State is either. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Which is what they beat Alabama pretty handily. Give me Georgia.
I can see it now. I can see it right now, guys. So Bama's leading by 3 with 30 seconds left. Georgia gets down to the goal line, and they hand it to big-time goal line Josh McCray, who pounds it in for 6, and the extra point makes it 4 for Georgia.
And they missed the extra point.
They missed the extra point. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Bama's winning this game. I would go Georgia on straight up, but I don't know. Something about the hook got me.
Fair enough. Yeah. Something like 27-26, something like that.
Yeah. The college kicker missing an extra point. Yeah.
Georgia's defense gives up 41 points to Tennessee. Now, I know Tennessee's good, but, they did give up 41. I looked, too. They've only sacked the quarterback 4 times on the whole year, and 2 of those times were against Kent State. They only got 4 sacks. Luke Altmaier was sacked 4 times in one quarter.
Drive, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, last week.
It was in one series.
Yeah. So
first, second, third, fourth. So Kirby Smart and Georgia probably rested. They probably all should have played lottery tickets escaping Knoxville with that win a couple weeks ago.
Really?
So how many times are you going to get luck like that? Well, I personally think this next one's the game of the week. Besides Big Noon kickoff,
Right.
But so we're gonna go Oregon, Penn State. Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite, and from what I've seen so far on tape, you guys, I think the whiteout is probably 3 of these points. Yeah, 5. So from what I've watched, Oregon and Penn State play, Penn State likes to be sluggish and just goof off for the first half and put up 10, 13, 16 points on whoever they're playing, the school for the blind, and then in the second half, they just start putting on the points. Oregon has been methodical and just tearing teams down.
Yep.
It's precision. So this is an interesting one. Kev, we're starting with you here. Penn State 3.5-point favorite. Obviously, the whiteout factor, you can't get away from that. It's going to matter. So, do you think that's enough?
I do. I think first off, if you look here, Oregon is the sexier play. Everything about Oregon, their offense, their scoring margin, their yards per game, their defense is good. Everything looks Oregon's way in that regard. Penn State has been sluggish against some inferior opponents. The only team they really put away was Villanova in a 52-6 game, which Villanova oddly covered on a touchdown late, which was so frustrating. I think that was the Western Michigan game. We were waiting for that to happen. It's, hey, can we get our game on? Here's the thing though. Dante Moore is going on the road to start his first road college football game. Real one. Like, they went to Northwestern. And by the way, they didn't look that great against Northwestern. I mean, great. I think it was 34-0 in Northwestern.
It was, and then they put their backups in and gave up 14 points. Yeah.
But I think there's a big difference between playing in front of 12 people in Evanston and playing in front of 120,000 almost in Happy Valley. I think that crowd, that intense environment, Penn State's defense is really good. I think overall it's a better defense than Oregon. Moore's playing better than Aller right now, but there's something I think Penn State's going to unlock something in this game. I like the Nittany Lions minus the 3.5 here. I get the more experienced quarterback, the home crowd, the better defense at home. Now, I'll give the coaching advantage. I think I take Dan Lanning 10 times out of 10 over Franklin. They call him Big Game James as a joke. But how many of these have they lost? I mean, all the big games that James Franklin's lost that have been so important to him have always seemed to be on the road. They don't seem to lose those games at home whiteout. It's going to be intense. Game day. I think it's worth it. I think Penn State wins this game by a touchdown. Listen here. They played a close game in the Big Ten title game a year ago. A lot closer than I expected. I'm pretty sure I picked Oregon here. And I think that Penn State is better this year than they were a year ago. And I don't think that Oregon is as good as they were a year ago. I think Oregon's really good, but I take Dylan Gabriel over Moore all day long. Give me the Nittany Lions probably around a touchdown here.
If we have to, Matt, I'll just start with Kev next, so it's all good.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about the whiteout in Happy Valley. I mean, it's intimidating, and Moore is going to come in there and probably be a deer in headlights for the first, at least quarter. I think this gives Penn State a distinct advantage, at least through the first half, until Oregon can maybe settle in. But, these types of games, sometimes you don't even get the chance to settle in. You're already looking, you're down 10-0, 14-0, and you're trying to play catch up the whole game. But Moore has been impressive, the transfer from UCLA. I can't figure this Penn State team out. They got Aller back. They got Singleton back. They got Katron Allen back. I mean, they're all their core players are right where they need to be. And kind of a little bit like Illinois, you got all this returning production. You're thinking these guys should be, destroying people. But to Ryan's point earlier, they haven't been. They kind of just, mess around for 2.5, 3 quarters, and then, maybe score 14, 21 points in the fourth, and we're good. But I just keep going. Like I said with Nebraska last week, they had 20 straight losses, 27 straight against ranked teams. James Franklin, 4-20 versus AP top 20 team, or 10 AP top 10 teams, and he's lost his last 14 in a row versus AP top 5. Now, I know Oregon's 6th in the AP. They're 5 in the coaches poll, right on that line. But I just prove to me that you can win a big game. Maybe it's this weekend, but I like Oregon's speed on the outside and skill positions. If they can get off to a good start, I think the wrong team is favored here. I think they win the game. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to take the Ducks plus 3.5 in Happy Valley on whiteout night.
Real quick before we go to the last one, what do you make of SDR's comment here, you guys?
It all depends. I think that's really slided towards Illinois, and the way that our current offensive line is playing. Really, that's the side of the ball where it really why is it not more cohesive? I do think that returning production does matter, especially with these high value teams. So,
all right, now let's get to the last one and the most important here. Since we're all Illini fans here, and this is why you came here. USC, Illinois. USC 6.5 point favorite. I know I saw the line was up at 7 at one point, and I guess it came back down to 6.5 where it started. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, I won't go on some long tangent, but I was on a USC podcast earlier, and I was actually schooling them up on Illinois. And, and a long story short, they were all asking me about the offensive line. And I said, nobody really knows why there's such a problem, but schematics and communication amongst protection. Bielema thinks Illinois, it's the quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. The tight ends aren't doing what they need to do. But that this team, Illinois, is going to come in this week sharp and with an edge and a chip on their shoulder because of how embarrassed they were. And what do you think they heard all week? What do you think that they heard all week? It's they're soft. They're overrated. If I expect this is going to be one of the sharper Illinois teams that you've seen in a while, I would be shocked if that's not the case. So obviously USC super, super potent offensively. They can be scored on. Their secondary is their issue defensively. I was listening to them talk, and they also give up a lot of penalty yards. They make a lot of dumb mistakes. They're undisciplined, and they just do dumb stuff. They remind me a lot of the Ron Zook teams you were just like, why are we doing this? Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Matt, we're going to start with you here. It's interesting too, the early kickoff, which is 9 a.m. for USC. There's a lot of factors here. It's going to be the really first road game they played. Purdue was half full. The 4-hour tsunami, a lot of the fans left. It really wasn't a road game. So this is a real road game. So all those factors into play here. What do you see happening here with USC and Illinois?
Yeah, to your point here, USC straight up 1-12 in their last 13 in the Central and Eastern time zones, and 1-13 in their last 14 against the spread. Which is just crazy numbers. This all comes down to how, to your point, how are the Illini going to absolutely taken to the woodshed last week? It was embarrassing. Nothing went right. We were pretty much a laughingstock of college football for that Saturday late night, Twitter rants and into Sunday. You're right. I mean, I was in coaching. I know when things like this happen, it's you go either one of two ways. You do sit there and basically you try to build your team back up, but they've heard how bad they were and how embarrassed they were for a whole week of practice. So I do think you will get Illinois.
Matt, question for you as a guy who sat in those college rooms and heard the things. There's two philosophies on this. There's burn the tape, move forward, or there's getting everybody's ass. And I bet you've seen coaches do both, right?
Yes.
I bet you've seen the same coach do both. What do you think, in your opinion, as a guy who's been around college athletes, what would be the best course of action? What do you think Bielema did this week?
If I were Bielema, here's what I would have burned the tape. Now, right. I say that
he didn't, though. He said he didn't. He made them watch it,
and that's fine. I think there's teachable moments at every game, but I look at my team. Do I have veterans on my team? Do I have guys that have been through the fires, that been through the battles? Do I think they're mature enough to handle this type of adversity? If they are, if I truly believe that, I'm burning the tape. I'm saying I'm coming in. Hey, we were awful. We know it. We got to get back to work. And we know what we need to do. Now, if I've got a younger team, I'm getting in their ass. I'm coaching them up. This is not acceptable. This is not how a program's supposed to be run here. It's not under my watch, that kind of thing. You can always mix and match, but I would have leaned on the burn the tape more than anything. But that's just me. I'll get back to my little rant here, but yeah.
Oh, I'm saying I'm sorry I diverted.
We're good.
No problem.
Yeah, you're good.
No problem. USC front four, very, very good. A lot of pressure. I watched them the entire game last week because I took my own advice at the end and I said I was taking the USC over, and it sure did hit. But I watched them just, because I knew we were playing them next, and very good pressure. And that's what I'm so worried about with this game is I think Altmaier's going to get sacked at least 3 times, maybe 4 in this game, maybe even more. USC second in red zone production, and Illinois 58 in red zone defense. USC really scores when they get there. I hate the secondary, what we have right now. I'm taking USC plus 6.5 because minus 6.5 because it's under that 7, that key number. I don't know if the defense can stop them. So that's where I'm at. I'll be right back.
See you, Matt.
I'm coming back.
He's got to get his room service. So here's my thoughts on this one. This game is going to go one of 2 ways. Illinois comes out flat again in the first half and doesn't take advantage of the fact that USC's got a body clock game at 9 a.m. Now, Matt, here's the thing. College basketball, college football, a little bit different. But if you had a game that started at 11 a.m., that means those guys are up and moving at 7 a.m. that morning, right?
Maybe the latest, because we always would have shoot around, and we would get if you're on the road, you get the earliest shoot around versus the home team, and they're usually you would eat 4 hours before the game. So you're eating at 7 a.m. That shoot around would have been at like 5:30, 6 a.m. Now, would you have taken the shoot around? Probably not. You go to the hotel, you run through the plays in a ballroom, and then you immediately eat. But they're going to be up very early.
Which 7 a.m. USC time, 7 a.m. Central time is like 5 a.m. USC time. So like
Exactly.
Illinois is going to have to take advantage in the first half. Illinois has been a notorious slow starter. So if Illinois can take advantage in the first half, in the first quarter, score a touchdown or two, get a couple stops, get a 10-point lead, get a 14-point lead, get a 7-point lead, whatever, get some confidence. And Illinois has shown, other than the Indiana game, we've been a pretty good second half team. Now, there's a lot of stuff there. We're sitting out here and we're looking at the Indiana game in a micro. You got to look at Brett Bielema's tenure at Illinois in the macro. The same way you got to look at USC traveling east in the macro. USC traveling east in the macro has not worked well for them in the Big Ten. Brett Bielema's tenure at Illinois, the outlier is the Indiana game. There is no other game in the Brett Bielema tenure that even closely resembles that, other than possibly Purdue, but even that was close for a while, right? That 44-19 Hudson Card game a couple of years ago. I think the body clock situation, the senior leadership on this football team, Illinois comes out early, makes a little bit of a statement, gets up on this one, and keeps it within the number. It's either going to be a close game or we're going to get boat raced. There is challenges that their offense is going to present to our secondary. However, Maeva going on the road, going east early, Illinois really pissed off and comes out and does some things. I'm going to take Illinois and the 6.5 points here. I'm not sure if we win, but I think our special teams rebounds. I do think we have good kickers. I think they fixed the mistakes. I think Illinois, frankly, I think a little bit what happened, and if you hear the statements from Bielema, the coordinators, I think we got a little full of ourselves being a top 10 team. And I think we just, we show up, we score 10 points against Western Michigan in the first half, and we blow them out, blah, 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 we're okay. I think this team realizes they have to prepare at a different level. There's something that comes along with learning how to stay at the top. I think Illinois recovers and covers the spread this week, plus 6.5.
You're right.
I also think USC can be scored on. I lean over in this one.
Yeah.
I think
it's at 60.5.
I know. I think Illinois is going to have to do some quick blitz beaters, protection beaters, slants. So we're going to have to.
The biggest thing obviously is protection of Altmaier, but like in the passing game, they do have some young guys back there, undisciplined and miscommunication a lot as well. Like so, because just talking to those guys from the USC pod, they were like literally. They're like sick of it. They've just so many miscommunications this year. Like Georgia Southern scored 20. Purdue left so many points on the board. If you actually watch the game, Ryan Brown had 2 or 3 picks in the red zone. In the red zone. It wasn't like, they were at their own 30. No, they had automatic points, even field goals. He gave them away. Like how many points?
They've got interior offensive line problems, and my understanding is, yes, they are creating some pressures and some turnovers, but they also are giving up some running. So you're able to run the ball. I listened to Jay Lehman talk on The Drive with the new host there on Monday. He's talking about, hey, listen, you can effectively run the ball against them a little bit. This offensive line's hurt it enough. Hopefully they come back with a little fire in their belly, or maybe we see a change. Maybe somebody gets an opportunity here. So we'll see. SDR, if you think there's only going to be 34 points scored in this game, you go to the window, you bet the house on that sucker. Drive to Indiana, take an alt line, and get you some plus on that, man.
Matt, Kev, who do you guys? Who wants to go with their lock first?
I'll go.
Okay, all right, Matt. I know you got food ready to be eaten, so that way you can just hurry up and get your lock out of the way so you can start eating.
I know it's already 11 o'clock here. So I was just impressed with Mendoza last week. I know I watched some of them in earlier games, but and I know our secondary was really ravaged, but I'm going to go to Iowa City here. I'm taking Indiana's team total over 28 points. Iowa gave up 28 last week to Rutgers, and I think that this Indiana team is a lot better offensively than Rutgers. Now, Rutgers had a good game last week, and Iowa gave up 330 passing yards to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights last week. 330. Usually a very stout defense, not as stout as in the past. I think Mendoza continues his climb. Give me Indiana Hoosiers over 28 total team points.
Love it. Love it. So college football, these aren't going to be my locks, but these were two picks that I absolutely love. I sent one to Matt today. Boston College -6.5 against Cal. Cal traveling all the way across the country. Joes, look at your record. 1-2 Boston College playing 3-1 Cal. Cal's quarterback was everybody's darling going into last week when Ryan picked him as a road favorite in prime time. Bad. Ooh. And they got beat 34-0. Now they travel all across the country to a pretty well-coached Tom O'Brien team on a bye. Boston College -6.5. I love it. Here's another one I love. I know Matt loves this one too. This team cannot hit unders. They don't know how to hit unders. I already took an under.
I already know what you're going to say.
People who bet unders, we get it. It sucks. You're praying for not points. When you're watching a football game, you want to see the big plays. You want to see the touchdowns. Notre Dame let Purdue score 30 points. How many the heck is Arkansas going to score? Arkansas is an over machine. I don't care if it's 64.5 because Notre Dame is probably going to put up 40 of them. Give me I love the over in that game. But my lock every other year, this time of year, I'm going to take it because I have to take it. It's my favorite sporting event. It happens once every other year.
Oh, that's right.
Give me the USA -150 to get the cup back on U.S. soil in the Ryder Cup. Give me the Team USA over the Euros in the Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black.
Bethpage Black, that's right. I love it. That's great.
You do mix it up a little bit with those. I forgot about that.
That's what my boy Chad, he'd get real mad at me if I didn't do that one. So, hey, there's no reason USA should be -150. The Euros have a better team, but the cup has not. Nobody's won on foreign soil since the meltdown at Medina in 2012.
So on mine here, I had to go to. I almost feel like a sure thing because I'm so pissed about Cal just being that pathetic. It's one thing to lose a game on the road, not cover or whatever, but it's another to lay a bagel and just look pathetic. And the week before you beat Minnesota, that doesn't add up. So I'm going here. The best team that really nobody's talking about right now, I'm picking Memphis. Okay. They're a 13.5-point favorite over 1-2 FAU, who just gave up 38 points to Florida International last week. Okay. Memphis just beat Arkansas last week. Okay. At home, they scored 30-plus points on Arkansas. I'm picking Memphis, high-powered offense. They're going to beat FAU by at least 14. It's 13.5. That's my pick.
Ryan,
Memphis.
Ryan, where's the game being played?
It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be at the game.
Where's the game being? The FAU.
It doesn't matter.
FAU's at home, catching 13.5.
They are terrible.
Oh, my goodness. And, SDR, I love Colorado plus the points at home at night against BYU. I think BYU's a fraud. I haven't seen anything out of BYU that tells me they're that good. They even
this is Memphis letdown city, though, Ryan. That's the only thing I would say.
It is.
You think it's letdown city against that bad of a FAU team?
I will say this. I would take the first half cover by FAU. Now they might cover in the end, but
they're coming. They're off a bye week. They're 1-0 at home.
So I'm just going. Today, I'm looking at this. Memphis has got a really good offense. FAU doesn't play D. I'm just saying it could be 45-31 and they cover. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. Go ahead.
I would fade like SDR. I love you, dude. And if I am wrong, please come on the show. I am thinking about.
We'll let SDR do some picks sometime.
Put his picks up. Put his picks up. I'm going to the window with the parlay on the other side of every single one of these games. And here's the reason why. San Diego State, like USC, is traveling all the way across the country to play Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois is not that good. Well, neither is San Diego State, but they're coming all the way across the country. And Northern Illinois is getting 1.5 points. BYU is going to Colorado at night. Go look at BYU. They're not that good, dude. And Colorado's getting 6.5 points at home at night. And UCLA is going to get the dead cat bounce this week. They fired the coach. Then they had a bye week, correct? UCLA was on bye last week, and they get 6.5 against Northwestern. I know it's at Northwestern. I actually like UCLA to keep that within the number.
Okay. All right.
Hey, SDR, no matter what, buddy, we could disagree. That's what makes this fun. If everybody agreed with you, these shows would be boring as hell. Come to the Ohio State tailgate, brother. Love to meet you. So
we need to start plugging that a little bit more too, though. Matt, are you thinking about coming to Ohio State?
Better beat USC.
We gotta beat USC first, and then
okay. So if it's 5-1, guys, do you think game day may come if Illinois is back in the top 15?
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
5-1. Yeah, they gotta be.
The challenge is OU might be undefeated and Texas is undefeated, and that's. But OU without Mateer.
OU's not got Mateer. Yeah.
They'll still be undefeated. They're going bye week, then Kent State, then Texas. So the three of us could play offense for Oklahoma with that defense, and they'd still.
Yeah, but like, man, that's the game day. It's that game, but it's like, and with who in behind center, right? That's going to be interesting.
I went last year. It was a hell of a time.
Yeah. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode. Matt can enjoy his food. Any last thoughts, you guys, before we go?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna say I look forward to Saturday just for a more I don't know,
competitive looking group.
Yes, I mean I didn't have very many words on Saturday. It was just the game was over before you even knew it. So
Brett Bielema didn't have it. If Brett Bielema couldn't explain what happened, then he said he'd never been a part of something like that. Like it's like whatever he said to him at half, Kev. He said once they gave up that first touchdown to start the second half, he said he knew it was over because they didn't respond to anything that they talked about. So
Illinois was a hyper competitive team for the most part in Brett Bielema's first year with a really rough roster. That game's the outlier. That game's not the norm. Get your butts in the seat. Get your butts in the seats. If you've got a ticket, go to the game, fill the place. Big noon kickoff. Make it loud. Make it a tough environment for USC. Get up on them early. Illinois can win the game.
And that'll be a big win too over a good USC team, and that'll energize with Dre Brown coming back to Champaign, huh?
Nice.
Yeah, it might be a little motivation on that end. I mean, some guys around Dre. I love Dre. He was really cool to me at the Citrus Bowl. I will say this. I don't like the fact Indiana's not getting credit for what they did to us because we played horrible, but Indiana's still really good.
Yeah.
What was it? Only 4.5 over Iowa in over Kinnick?
6.5, I think, or something.
6.5 now.
If they go on the road and beat Iowa by at least 10 points, I think people will start realizing that they're
going to win that game.
Yeah.
It's not going to be close, I don't think.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Keep it an orange and blue Sunday, right, Kev?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see you then. Swami out.
ILL.
I.